Okay, I think it's 7 o'clock. We can get started. So welcome, everybody, to the Town of Orangetown Town Board meeting of March 25th, 2025. Town Clerk on a roll call.
Councilman Paul Valentine.
Here.
Councilman Jerry Batari. Absent. Councilman Brian Donahue.
Here.
Councilman Dan Sullivan.
Here.
Supervisor Teresa Kenny.
Here. Okay, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll figure it out.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's okay. I'll wait. Okay, so we're ready. Okay, so we have a couple of announcements. First, we have the Great American Cleanup. The Town of Orangetown and the Tappan Fire Department have joined forces. We've done it, it's the second year we've done it. Second or third. Anyway, it's on April 5th from 9 to 11, rain or shine. The firehouse is nice enough to supply the breakfast, and NoCo Kitchen supplies, provides lunch for anyone who stays and cleans up. So I hope to see some of you out there. Okay, Brian? Hope to see you out there.
Hope to see you too.
I'm there every year. And I just got this, so this is a new announcement. It's not even on the agenda. I don't think so. The Orangetown Historic Museum and Archives at the DePue House is going to be having a new exhibit, Orangetown and the Bicentennial, From Democracy to Disco, so that sounds really fun. That's on April 27th from 1 to 4, again at the DePue House, which is on 196 Chief Bill Harris Way, our museum, so that's fun. Okay. So we do have a presentation to make tonight. This is to recognize basically our volunteers that work at the Camp Shanks Museum. We're going to make a presentation, and I don't have all the names, but I do know John Gray is here. So I'm just going to real quickly, because I think a lot of us forget some of the history, with the great history we have in Orangetown. So I'm going to give you a brief history, I'll be brief, of Camp Shanks. Camp Shanks served as a staging area for troops departing the New York port of embarkation for overseas service during World War II. Dubbed Last Stop USA, the camp housed about 50,000 troops spread over 2,040 acres and was the largest World War II U.S. Army embarkation camp, processing 1.3 million service personnel, including 75% of those participating in the D-Day invasion. In 1945, Camp Shanks also housed German and Italian prisoners of war. After the war, the old barracks buildings at Camp Shanks were converted into housing for veterans with families attending colleges and universities in the New York City area under the GI Bill. The settlement, then known as Shanks Village, closed in 1954, and the land Camp Shanks once stood on was returned to civilian control. Today, the expanded Palisades Interstate Parkway passes through some of the land that was once Camp Shanks. In June 1994, the Camp Shanks Museum opened near the site at the intersection of New York State routes 303 and 340. So if you have not been to the museum, I highly recommend it. It is a gem here in Orangetown. So we did have, there was a journal news article that came out last October that we had framed, that, you know, hopefully they could hang it somewhere at the museum, but it's a nice little article. We liked it so much we had it framed. So why don't everybody who's here for this come on up?
Kevin O'Rourke, we got two.
Yeah, so Kevin, would you or one of you introduce these handsome young men that are with you? Hi, John, how are you? We know Kevin. Yep, we know Kevin.
Wow, very good.
Wow,
Thank you.
very good. Thank you, guys. Let's give them an applause. Yes. So I will come down there and hand it to you. We'll get a picture with the town board.
Let's go straight. Should we come down, Carmel, or up here?
For
Three of us over here?
Sorry, just stand so Teresa would stand right in front of her.
John, do you want to say a few things? You can go to the mic and say a few things.
That's why they brought you.
Well, Camp Shanks to me is a very important part of the culture of the area. Okay, it shows the history, and is not the last part of history, but we got a lot of it from the Revolutionary War through the wars that continue on, whether we like it or not. And there's a couple of things that people aren't aware of when they come to Camp Shanks. It's like the amount of time and effort that President Dwight D. Eisenhower was involved with the area. He was a big part of pushing the use of Camp Shanks into effectively Columbia dorms north, all right, before all the rest. They would come up, come across the GW Bridge, get the buses back and forth to school down there. We put over 4,000 families through as an educational system. So we got a lot of guys that went through, got educations, for bachelor's and for doctorates, and master's programs. So it was a very important thing, for us to help build the community and establish the education in the area, right? And what I'm trying to do is, continue that. I go visit, William O. Schaefer School and any of the schools in the system, to kind of get them involved, right? I have the boys that come in, and I have opened up, volunteers, anybody that can want to. We have the Jewish war vets come in. They're very helpful. They take 1 month of the year, in August, and not August, July, and they take all the Sundays that we're open and, man the Shanks, village, and, the village itself, started in '46, because that's the end of when Camp Shanks was a camp. All right, they closed it down. The last German prisoners left on July 22nd, '46. There's a picture, a couple of pictures we have from a guy, that sent them to me from California. He happened to be stationed here at the very end of the war, and we got pictures of the guys, the last ones going up the gangplanks to leave from actual Piermont. One of the things a lot of people don't realize is that they always call it Last Stop USA. Actually, it wasn't always Last Stop. People don't realize that the old Hudson River used to freeze, and we didn't get boats up to the pier in the wintertime in certain instances. So as a result, the guys would come up to the camp, get out, stay there for a while, then turn around, get back on the trains, and go back down to Hoboken so they could take the ferries across. All right, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of not filled in the voids of information that we have. The other thing is we have people come back, and a lot of the old timers that were in World War II didn't like to talk about what they saw, because it was pretty horrendous in some cases. So they kind of like, yeah, I'd rather not talk about it. They'd talk about the time that they had at Camp Shanks. They enjoyed it because it was not a regular type of base. They didn't have reveille. They didn't have lights out. They kind of were relaxing before they had to go to war. So as a result, there's a lot of misinformation. We did have the guys that were the 101st Airborne went through here, right? The guys that went on the movie, all right, went through this thing, and then went over to overseas. All right, one of the guys, George Lutz, if you guys have watched the movie, the Band of Brothers, George Lutz was the one that was the comic, in the group, where he talked to the commanding officer from behind a bush and had him cut down a barbed wire fence and, go through and all that kind of thing. His son was at the camp, and presented us with a token from the 101st Airborne, which I haven't gotten around to it yet, but we're going to put it up, in a little piece, in a black box that we can sit there and say, that's part of our guys. But it was a real, it's been an enjoyment for me. I have a couple of different things, I do, and one of them is, I'm a train enthusiast. I just recently went up to Albany on an old-fashioned 1940s vintage New York Central train from Penn Station all the way up to Albany, visited the USS Slater, which was one of the last ships that were on the convoy that brought the last group to Europe from Camp Shanks. All right, and okay, you could go up there and watch. Okay, they were tin cans. They built about 500 of them through the years. As a result, okay, they don't have but one left that we know of, okay, in the United States. And it's an inexpensive time to go up there, okay, just off the thruway, and it's easy to get to. All right, but I've got information at the camp for any of the different things that go around. The other thing, okay, we have is around the corner, we had the 76 house. Last week on Thursday, there was a little piece, okay, in the Channel 12 News, okay, that shows on, I'm not exactly sure, there are a variety of different channels, depends on what system you have. But okay, they showed Camp Shanks a little bit and what is going on there, and then they turned around and went over to the 76 house. So we got a little bit of advertising for the community and the county, and that's what we want to do. More of that, we'll be in great shape.
Good deal.
Right.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, John. Okay, so we're going to, we have another presentation from our town historian here. So, yeah, Mary, if you could just explain to the board a little bit about this, and then I know we would have to pass a resolution, but, you know, I just wanted them to be informed.
Okay. So back on March 6th of this year, we sent each one of our councilmen and to you our application of what we were applying for, and it's for a technical assistance grant. And we're eligible for it because we are a small museum, and we're not asking really for a lot of money, but we do need a study to be done assessing what needs to be done at the Salyer House. And the reason we're focused on the Salyer House is because it's on the National Register, and it does need help. For example, the windows on the lower floors over the course of time don't exactly fit in their windows, so that we have small critters coming in, and that's not so good for our collections. So we've applied, and so far we've gotten a green light, but we need the help of the councilmen to formally approve for us to accept this grant money, which is $8,500. 20% of it would be the town would pay for 20%. In other words, about $1,700 out of $8,500. So essentially, that's what all of this is about.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Paul. All right. So far I've invited just the councilmen, and I will extend the invitation to all members to our opening, which is April 27th, and it's called 1776-1976 Bicentennial in Orangetown, Democracy to Disco. So a lot happened in the 1970s. You had a whole host of things like Watergate occurred. Mini skirts were popular. And mine is on display, by the way, so come and see my mini skirt. But we're having fun doing it because a lot happened here in Orangetown, and I'd rather focus on 1976 here in Orangetown because a lot of the other museums and other institutions will be focusing on the American Revolutionary War. We will touch on that, but it's more important 1976 when we were all young and eager to see what happened in the 1970s. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Okay, so we're going to workshop our agenda items. The first item, which is number 3, is the resolution. This is what I understood was discussed when I was in here last meeting. A memorial resolution basically expressing our opposition to the bills up in Albany, the Faith-Based Affordable Housing Act. It does also, if you see the last at the end, it authorizes that it be sent to, that it basically go to the Speaker of the New York Assembly, President of the New York Senate, and the Governor of the state of New York. I'd also obviously send it to our Assemblyman and our Senator, our local senators, or whatever like that. So I know there's been a lot of chatter about this on social media. I did reach out to Senator Weber. He told me that this bill had come up in the last session, and it didn't even make it out of committee. And I'm using terminology that I don't necessarily 100% understand, but basically, what I would suggest to people who are against this is that we take our objection, like we're doing to Albany, to those who sponsored the bill. I believe he said it was 60 altogether, and they're all Democrats. And so it's great to go on social media and to complain about it here in Orangetown, but that's not accomplishing anything. So the town board's going to do our part. We're going to pass a resolution. We're going to make sure it gets to the appropriate people up in Albany. But, you know, it's those types of things that do have an impact on whether they make it out of committee. So I know I spoke with Bill Weber. I've spoke with, I spoke with Mike Lawler. I spoke with every elected official that I spoke to is obviously against it. So it's here in Orangetown. So I don't know, does anybody else have anything else they want to add to this?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much as you said, you know, we're going to pass this. As we said last meeting, we are all objected to this because it's taking our right to basically determine how our town goes in which direction and giving it to the state, which is not something we want to do. So we are all opposed to it, and I'm glad we're doing this memorializing resolution. Whether they actually have any impact or not, I have no idea, because we do quite a few of them for different things. We sometimes do it against rate hikes on our water bill and electric bill, and it doesn't seem really to help much because they still go up, right? So, but I think it's a good step in the right direction. And I agree, try to reach out to your state officials. It's not the federal officials. This is a state law. It's being pushed by Governor Hochul, and I absolutely oppose it, as
We all
does
do.
all my fellow committeemen.
Yeah. And you know, the state, a couple of years back now, I guess 3 years ago, tried to push the accessory dwelling units. And there was a lot of objection to it. And that was, again, it was bipartisan. It's not necessarily, there's a lot of, you talk to town supervisors and town board members in Westchester, they're against this too. Going back to Paul's point, it's taken away home rule. I mean, it's actually an insane law when you read it. I mean, it's insane, you know. You can't require, off-street parking, they tell you how many units, it's, you're not worried about the water. I mean, it's just, it's an insane law. So, it's just, when I read that, they say that we can't subject them to any other building or fire code beyond the standard New York State. So they push us to enact all these extra building codes, and then like, oh, but you can't use them now for these houses. The whole thing is insane. So anyway, so that's the resolution. I think it speaks for itself, but obviously it's there. Okay, so number 4, it's my final try. This is the legislation we have been trying for a couple of years to get, the preservation law. We have made it as far as getting it to the governor's desk, but she vetoed it the last time. So I'm taking one last shot at this. It's basically it's a transfer fee that gets paid, that goes into a dedicated account and allows the town to buy open space or some of these properties when they come up. So it's commonly used around the state. I've heard different various reasons why the governor signed no. Last time she said that she thought it was a pretext for us trying to keep the Hasidic community out of Orangetown. I've since heard that it might be the real estate lobby group that's more influential than that, so I don't know. But Assemblyman Aaron Weider has sponsored it, and Bill Weber has it in the Senate, and we will give it one last try. If it doesn't go through, they can't say we didn't try. It'll be like our 3rd time. Number 5, this is another amendment to the contract of sale for the property on the water down in South Nyack, the Olson church property. So I think we discussed it. There was a very large oil tank in the ground, And so we had to work something out with the church where they could use some of the funds in escrow to do it, and we'll get a credit at closing. Well, it wasn't enough because it was a big tank, and it's been there for a long time. So this is a second amendment to basically allow additional funds to be used. And again, the church is paying for it. It's just going to be a credit off the price. We went down there. Rob Magrino and I went down and saw the hole and saw this, where the tank was. It's wild. Anyway, so Rob, this basically means we're giving more of a deposit that they then can use that we get a credit for.
Right, just to help, I mean, they're on site, and, you know, I actually spoke with the,
Yeah, how they doing? It's been,
they're doing well. They give daily updates, and, you know, they're taking a lot of dirt
They
away
almost-
from there, a lot of dirt every day.
almost done? We
I don't know.
don't know. But it is
I
a
don't
cool
know if they
property.
know.
Like, we were down there, and it is really cool. It's going to be a really, a nice asset for the people of the town of Orangetown to have waterfront property. You know, just, again, everyone's like, what are we going to do for the short term? Get the house demolished and have it just be open space until we figure out what we want to do. But, you know, to have access to the Hudson River is nice feature, so. Number 6, this is regarding an employee disciplinary matter. So essentially, there was a hearing held, and the assignment, who's going to determine is being assigned to the town board. Rob, am I getting this right? This is going to be assigned to us to
Correct,
to
yeah.
review the record and make a determination. But this is
Right.
really just the assigning it over to us. We're basically designated from Jim Dean. It's a highway employee. So anyway, this basically saying it's being designated to us. We're going to review the record, and then we will come back with some determination at a later point. Number 7, set the public hearing to amend Orangetown Town regarding entitled flood damage prevention. Rob, you're going to have to do it. This is, I know there's new rules, and we have to change our
Right.
law, and,
Yeah, this is mandated from the state, and it's such a mandate that if we want to change anything in the proposed local law, we have to get permission from the DEC. So it's something, you know, that's been handed down. It's obviously, we sent it to Jane Slavin and Eamon Riley to take a look at. So that's the public hearing
okay,
that's
so
going
we're
to be on
setting the
this
public
law.
hearing, and then between now and then, we'll get the actual, I mean, it sounds like we don't have a lot of choice.
Not really, but, you know, if we want to make changes, we can go back to them.
Right, so we'd have to go back and negotiate with them, okay. Number 8, we have approve permission for attendance at the New York State Highway School. We have Jim Dean, Stefan Muno, Michael Donahue, and Brian DeBonis. Number 9, award the contract for the Franklin Avenue Curb and Sidewalk Improvement Project to DS Meyer Enterprises. That'll be nice. Number 10, resolution to approve agreement with HVEA, too many letters, construction support and inspection services. This is related to the culvert replacement project. This is the Mountain View, right, Jim? Yeah. So if everything goes through, when's an estimated construction timeline? Okay. Okay. It's been around for a long time, that project. You know. Number 11, amend a resolution, 269 of 2023. We had done a promotion, and apparently the step was wrong when we did it, so this is basically just correcting the step to what it should have been when it was originally passed. So nothing's changing, just a correction. Number 12, approve the intermunicipal agreement between the County of Rockland and the county for partial reimbursement of the counterterrorism training. Sounds very important. Number 13, grant permission to the police department for the advanced crisis negotiation course. Again, something very important. Number 14, I don't know if anybody has questions. This is a Jeff Benchick. After the auditors come, we always have to move things around. Move them like this, but it all ends up being the same thing, but yeah, I think it had been sent to us. Number 15, approve the release of the committed fund balance into restricted capital fund balance. I thought, so it's restricted, not unrestricted? Oh, okay, gotcha. But not, okay, not that particular project. Okay, gotcha, okay. So we can use it for other projects, but it has to be for a capital project, gotcha. Number 16, grant permission to attend the New York Government Financial Officers Association Annual Conference. So that's, it looks like it's for Jeff, Janice, and Stephanie. And then we have items 18 through 20. Approve lend assistance to the Rockland GAA Memorial 5K Run. That's this Saturday, March 29th. I will be out there. Anybody else? Number 19, approve lend assistance for the 2025 Grand Fondo New York Race. That's on May 18th. Approve, they're on their A game this year. Approve lend assistance for the Pearl River Memorial Day Parade, which is May 26, 2025. And then that's it. Okay. So,
I make a motion, we open public comment.
second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the only person signed up so far is Patty Pojway.
I'm Patty Coachwhite. I live in Pearl River. I wanted to thank the gentlemen for their service to our country, and congratulations on your award. I would also like to apologize because 2 weeks ago, I had made a statement that I did not hear back from Mr. Cleary regarding 2 code violations that I had put through. Mr. Cleary called me the next morning. He told me the dates he had emailed me, and I went into my spam, and I did find his responses. So I did want that on the record, that he did in fact respond. You answered the other items. I understand you are opposed, based on your conversation here, to faith-based affordable housing, and I thank you all for following my Facebook page. I would secondly like to say, Congressman Lawler came to me on the parade route. He shook my hand, and he said to me that he was opposed to faith-based affordable housing. The question was not posed to him. However, he is our congressman. I know it is he's the federalist. This is a state issue. However, he lives in the town of Orangetown, so I think we have a right to ask him how he feels about something that would affect him personally. I also have a question. Carmel Riley, who is an employee here at the town, on the Facebook page on March 19th, she stated that she had been informed by several lawyers that this would not apply to Orangetown. I would like to know all of your feelings about that, because
Okay, we're not going to respond. When you're done,
I know.
I'll address it.
I'm not asking for a response. I'm just stating what I would like to hear right now. Based on what I've read and what I've heard from other people who are knowledgeable on this, that isn't an accurate statement, that Orangetown would be affected if this bill was passed. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that's the only person that signed up. If anybody would like to speak. And again, just if you don't mind stating your name and where you're from for the town clerk.
Hi, my name is Jonna Mancini, and I'm from Pearl River. I'd like to speak regarding my concern about the LLC-owned homes in Orangetown. I was raised in Spring Valley, and I witnessed a community overrun by LLC owners that instilled uncertainty and fear in established neighborhoods. LLC owners were not held accountable for the disrepair of the homes they owned, and consequently, the value of these homes and surrounding homes decreased significantly. Many residents felt the need to sell their homes before their property value decreased further. Many complaints were made to the town. The majority of complaints were not followed through. Homes continued to be bought at a decreased value by the LLCs. My concern that it's going to happen here in Orangetown. I'm not trying to create any fear, but we cannot let this happen in Orangetown, and the LLC communities need to adhere to the standards of Orangetown and be held accountable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Noreen Gernon from Pearl River. I'm actually just making a statement that I spent 30 minutes on the phone with Senator Weber's office with regards to the faith-based housing. Originally, they said, gee, never heard of it. Then they went on to say, oh, that passed, he said, in September of 2024. I said, I don't believe that is true. Then they came back on and they said, you know, you're absolutely right. It did not pass. It didn't get out of, what was the word?
Committee.
Committee, yeah, it didn't get out of committee. So he said, listen, don't even be worried about it. This is what they're telling me. Don't be worried about it. You know, it's not even going to get out of committee this year. He said, because we're more concerned with the budget. I said, well, I'm concerned living where I live. I said it would be disastrous. Then I proceeded for 30 minutes to speak to someone in Assemblyman Weeder's office. And a lovely person took down all my information. Someone's going to get back to you. No one has, obviously. So when you said like 60 people are sponsoring this bill, how do you find out how to get a hold of those people to voice the concerns? Because I understand what you're saying, that, you know, we're going to people who live here who may not be a sponsor of that bill.
Well, I know that he mentioned specifically that Harcum is on it,
Harcum?
and he covers parts of Stony Point.
Okay.
He's, you know,
Is
I
he
can
a
get you the
senator
list.
or an assembly? Like, do you know
He
if anybody
is-
does? I'll look it up, but it's Harcum is the last name?
Harcum, Harcham, whatever. He covers part of Rockland. And yeah, but we can, you know, we can get you, I mean, we can get you the, you know, list, and then, I mean.
That would be great,
can
because
find
you know
them,
what? Believe me, on Facebook, I'll encourage people,
Yeah.
like, if these are the people
Yeah.
we need to contact, to call, to say that this would be absolutely disastrous. The guy from Weber's office, then when I explained to him, he said to me, that sounds horrible. I said, it is. So, I mean, this is what we're up against, where people even up in Albany have no idea as to what's going on and what the effects would be. So that's just my thing. I want people to know that even when you call, you write, I've sent emails, all of this, and like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. Just frustrating.
If we get you the list of 60 people, it'd probably be good to put some of those names for people to contact, right? So that you get it out to more people than just a few.
Okay, does anybody else want to speak that didn't have, Eileen?
This is the first time the agenda is missing items 5, 9, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. You're talking. I said, where is that? Anyway, I'm here to talk about item number 4, the home rule about
ours have,
real
I guess,
estate
yours
transfer tax. I'm here to voice my concern and about it. It's actually another tax on somebody who's buying a house in Orangetown. The first paragraph says on any home purchase, which does that include condominiums or commercial properties? If somebody is buying a piece of commercial property, will that person justifiably have to contribute towards the preservation fund? The other thing is it's a 3/4% tax on any home purchase in the town of Orangetown. The purpose of it is to get a preservation fund as a necessary tool to preserve Orangetown's character and environment by acquiring properties. Does that mean by eminent domain? Would that be involved in there?
No.
With exceptional scenic value, threatened ecological areas, historical significance, and waterways, including those properties for open space and recreational use and for properties that are at risk. That paragraph is very, very, how would I say, it could lead to an awful lot of issues. It's a little broad, in my opinion. Why not, in fact, a copy of that bill should be attached to this. It's not on there. The Senate Bill 6338 is not on, it's not attached to the, back away. Oh, it's not here. It's not on here. It says it's attached, is an annexed here too. Anyway, I guess I guess you've been talking about and thinking about this, but I think it needs a little bit more thought, because when the funds are collected, how do you get it from the? Do you get it from the lawyer? Do you get it from the buyer? Do you establish another office in Orangetown with an employee? And property in Orangetown is 600 and up to millions. So how do you go after a piece of property that's worth millions? The sellers wants millions of dollars. The town of Orangetown people will not accept that. Zoning is where you're going to tighten up and preserve Orangetown if your zoning is in place, and it does preserve those areas. We have a historical zone in Palisades and Tappan. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at this and saying, I don't think it's a great idea. I think you should give it a little bit more thought. As somebody, I've lived here since 1971. Should a new person coming into town have to pay for something that we have been trying to preserve? I'm here since 1971, 50-some-odd years. I don't think it's fair, and I think it's very broad, that statement that you have out here.
Thank you, Eileen.
And also, I'm not talking about Route 303. I've called Senator Weber's office 3 times. He's never gotten back to me. It's like riding a stagecoach up on 303 from Orangeburg Road to Erie Street is a disaster. I'm waiting to hear from him. 3 times I've called him.
Anybody else here that has not had a chance to speak that would like to speak? Okay.
I make a motion to close the public comment portion.
Second?
Second.
Oh,
Aye.
oh, okay, I think we all said aye. Okay.
Do you want to answer anything?
Yeah, I'm just gonna briefly touch upon the Preservation Fund. So this is not unique to Orangetown. There's quite a few over there in the state. Actually, Warwick, I was just up there. I had to wake up in Warwick. Passed it about 30 years ago, and they've done incredible things. They've preserved farmland, and they've done really great things. The Peconic Bay has it. There's quite a few around the state. And it's like any other fee that gets paid, it goes to the town, and it's earmarked to buy specific properties. The bill is much more detailed about there has to be a committee to determine the properties that get bought. But we just had the last couple of zone changes we've had. Without fail, people have said the town should buy the property. Without fail, everyone has said if it's near them, we should buy it. Gatto Lane, we should have bought it. The Blauville property should have bought it. And the town can't afford to buy all these lands, take off the tax rolls. So this is a very accepted standard. And although I hate a tax as much as anybody else, first of all, there is an exemption up to the first 100,000. You don't pay it on, but there's a mortgage tax, there's a transfer tax. New York State has their hand in it. County has their hand in it. Everybody has their hand in it. I don't think asking people, and I will tell you this, in Warwick, it didn't deter people from buying there. I think it made people appreciate the community they were moving into is one where they appreciate preservation. So, this, again, is the 3rd round. The first time we didn't get it out in time. The second time, the governor vetoed it. So this would be the last time giving it a try. But I think it was something that this board and, even before, going back 2 years ago, whatever, thought was an important thing, so.
And just to pigtail on that, piggyback on that, the property down in Nyack would be a fine example. I mean, we're buying, I don't know, whether it's 6 acres of riverfront property to preserve open space for the town. It'd be great if we had some of that money in a fund instead of having to bond it. And that's what it's about. It's, like Teresa said, every time we come, the dinosaur property, buy the property. The Western Highway
Every
property,
property.
buy the property. The Gatto Lane property, the town should buy the property. The town doesn't have a fund to buy property. And there is additional properties that are going to be up eventually in the town. And for us to have a fund, a capital fund to have some money in there to maybe, then go after it and preserve some of the open space in town would be a good idea. So this is our third bite at the apple, and I supported it the first time, I supported it the second time, and I again support it this time.
Will commercial properties pay into this in condos? Is it just
Okay. I'm not gonna, I don't have the law in front of me. I'm gonna, well, it's in the law. I will tell you condos are definitely in it. I don't know if about commercial. I want to say no, but anyway. Okay. I just want to address Patty's issue about the confusion about whether it applied or not. There was a question raised, if you read the law, about it applying to urban properties, urban communities. It was questioned to the point where my town attorney contacted former Assemblyman John McGowan, and they both had questions about whether it applied. Upon further research, it was determined that it would, but there was a period of time where they thought it did not apply to Orangetown because there's populations and things like that. So the long and the short of it is it does, if it would, if it got passed, and that's what that's about. I think that's the only questions I had.
Originally, we were told that it wouldn't apply because of population, distance to the
Right.
city. It was very, very convoluted. But then apparently we found some kind of map that says it definitely will apply. So it will definitely apply, and that's why this is definitely on here, and we're definitely opposed. Excuse me?
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
so, I guess we can move on to item 3. Can I get a motion to approve the memorializing resolution regarding our objection to the Faith-Based Affordable Housing Act? Motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 4, can I get a motion to approve the home rule for the Orangetown Community Preservation Fund? Motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 5, can I get a motion to approve authorization for a second amendment to the contract of sale for the property at 149, 157? Is that address right? Is that many numbers? 149 to 157 Piermont Avenue in South Nyack. Again, the waterfront property. Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 6, accept the delegation of assignment to determine in employee disciplinary matter. Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 7, a motion to set the public hearing date for April 22, 2025 at 7:05 to amend the Orangetown Code chapter entitled Flood Damage Prevention.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 8, can I get a motion to approve permission for those employees to attend the New York Highway School?
I'll make a
Motion?
motion. Sorry.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And while we're on this, I just want to commend the Highway Department for the job that they did at the parade. I have to tell you, I was outside Gildays, for what it's worth. The parade had ended, and the field was a mess, and they were coming down, and they were cleaning up, and they were breaking down things, and they were like a well-oiled machine. So I think the Highway Department, as well as our police department, deserves accolades for everything they did on Sunday. Okay, number 9, award the contract for the Franklin Avenue Curb and Sidewalk Improvement Project to DS Meyer Enterprises. Motion?
Motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 10, approve a resolution to approve the agreement with HVEA. This, again, is going to be the construction support and inspection services for the Mountain View Avenue culvert replacement project.
I'll make a motion. Long overdue. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Good things, you have to wait for good things sometimes, what can I tell you, right? Number 11, amend Resolution 269, 2023, the appointment of Mike Marano to basically grade 13, step 25/29. Motion?
Make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approve the intermunicipal agreement between the county for partial reimbursement for the counterterrorism training. Just please note that's for 2021 to 2022. We're going a little bit backwards, but anyway. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I put that up because I think the latest budget, the county budget, said they would pick up more. So this was less back then, but they're going to be picking up more, or so we've been promised. Number 13, grant permission for the police department for the, officers to attend the Advanced Crisis Negotiation course. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 14, approve the final budget line adjustments as recommended by Town Finance Director Jeff Benchick. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, Jeff, has there ever been a year where you didn't have to make those adjustments? Start working on that. Okay. Number 15, approve the release of committed fund balance into the restricted capital fund balance.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Grant permission to attend the New York Government Financial Officers Association Annual Conference to Benchick, Ganley, and Tasello. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, a motion to combine and approve items number 18 through 20.
I make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the audit.
Ordered. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, sir.
No. I guess not.
Tonight's audit consists of 3 warrants for $2.2 million. Items of interest, number 2, Atlantic Salt, $52,000 for highway salt purchases. Number 5, Capasso, $102,000 for recycling. Number 6, CSEA Employee Benefit Fund, $33,000 for dental benefits. Number 7, Dell Marketing, $28,000 for IT equipment. Number 15, Department of Civil Service, $1 million for healthcare benefits. And number 17, Trius, $196,000 for a highway truck, and that was bonded money. Any questions on the audit?
Nope. Can I get a motion to accept the audit?
Motion to accept.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, executive session. Yes, I do believe we have an executive session for personnel-related matters. No, it says it right there. Anything else? Just the personnel? Okay. And we have no adjournments. That doesn't happen too often, so
Oh, that's
we'll
good.
take it. Okay. Okay, so can I get a motion to enter executive session?
I make a motion to executive session and close the meeting thereafter.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.